Stop doing it. Maybe we don't have anything to say.
Nothing to say.
Maybe that's what it is. We just don't have enough to say. Or I'm not controversial enough. Like, I thought I was being very controversial when I said, England, there's no way that there is a cake in here. This is not a cake. It cannot be a cake. It's hard, for goodness sakes. It's not a cake. Let's be controversial.
Podcast 78, 5/10, April 8th. I got a Mike saying...
What does Mike say?
We're about 20 minutes or so from the gym. We'll be loading trucks tonight at 8, if that works better for you.
Loading trucks?
Yeah.
What kind of trucks?
Gym equipment.
Tonight?
Yeah. I gotta go over and pick up some more stuff.
Weights? You need your weights?
Some stuff. The 2 screens that go on the back of the big towers, and the handles that weren't there, and some just little shit, you know. And then I want to look at some other stuff. Decide what I'm gonna get. What is today? Is today Monday?
Today is just Monday. Just a little old Monday. I know I know you think it's a different day because Josh hit us with hot dogs, and that's never a Monday surprise.
What's got it?
Yeah, it's never.
And what was for lunch today? Stir fry.
Stir fry, which is never on Monday. He kind of weird. I feel like he blew his wad for the week because he kind of threw out the hot dogs again.
Gabby went to Nashville shopping.
Okay, so then we didn't get what we needed.
I think something
is askew.
What's Monday normally?
I don't know. I feel like hot dogs are like a Thursday and stir fries are Wednesday.
Yeah, stir fries Wednesday and tacos are Tuesday or something.
Tacos are Tuesday.
All right. There's a fucking lot of stuff out there. What the fuck is out there? A ton of fucking toiletry bags. Holy fuck. And a ton of compact
I am actually right now seeing in black and white because of how much that color, just looking at how bright that yellow and orange is, it just destroyed all my fucking color receptors.
And multicam black minimalist first aid kits.
Multicam black minimalist first aid kits.
Black compact tear-offs.
And Coyote compact tear-offs.
Coyote compact tear-offs. Oh, fucking like 100 of them.
Yep.
Max Lozana, he says, John, one of the coolest places I have ever been was in the catacombs under a church called St. Stephen's in middle of Vienna. They have a tour there that goes through a small part of them. One of the chambers is massive, hundreds of feet square, and it's stacked from floor to God knows what height. Nothing but skulls and bone remnants of the Black Plague that hit Vienna in the Middle Ages. If you ever go overseas, you really have to check that stuff out. I believe almost every major city in Europe has some sort of version of it. Love the podcast, guys. Keep doing what you're doing.
There's actually a club you're right, everywhere in Europe, there's somewhere where there's a catacombs with dead bodies in it because they really didn't know what to do with the damn things. But there's a club in Paris that's illegal, of course, but they go from one side of the city, so out in the suburbs on one side of the city of Paris, all the way to the other side of the city, and they do it all underground. And it's a combination of like going through fucking subterranean basements and then through sewers and all kinds of shit. Pretty interesting.
Where's that?
In Paris.
Have you been to Paris?
I have not been to Paris. They've already surrendered. I don't need to go.
Can we please get a soda moon pie noodle patch in the works? John G says, giving your children tools and knowledge to thrive and survive is one of the greatest things you can do. Good day, sirs.
Yeah, they need to know how to operate in the real world, not the world of the cell phone. I mean, they're going to learn that, but you know, it just amazes me how every time we get somebody here that's younger than 25. Well, I mean, I'll say younger than 30. That don't know how to use a fucking tie down, don't know how to change a tire, don't know how to just do basic shit.
Don't know how to use a lighter.
Yeah, we just had one that didn't know how to use a fucking Bic lighter.
Who was like 35.
But that could have been environmental.
Not only that though, not even, let's say, okay, maybe not lighter. Doesn't know how to light a fire. Like,
Yeah.
not that dude, but how many
Yeah.
have come in here that literally could not, hey, go light the bonfire? Couldn't fucking do it.
And here's the
Without
thing.
getting gasoline all over themselves.
Here's the thing that a lot of people think. Like if I say here's flint and a knife, everybody's got this idea in their head of like, oh, I could start a fire with that. Until you actually have to go out, until you have to actually go outside and start a fire. It's interesting to see how long it really takes.
Like babyhead,
but Joe's kids are like they go out in the woods and actually chop down trees and shit, and they make fires. They'll go out there with the flint and make fires. But it's interesting just to see, even people who are proficient. It's not one of those things like it's not like a big lighter.
Yeah, once it rains, and if you get that big lighter wet. Love the podcast. Great customer service today. Just put in an order and saving for a rifle case.
Well, then how do you know we got great customer service?
My cheese wheel. That's the dude's name, my cheese wheel.
My cheese wheel.
Great customer. I don't know. He must have asked a question and we answered it.
And you answered it? And John answered it?
Somebody answered it.
Specifically?
John, Skully.
Oh.
Have either of you seen the movie Vice? It depicts the life of Dick Cheney. I have not. I've seen the preview. It did look good. I did want to see it. It must not be on DVD because there's not a DVD here anywhere of it. I know it's liberal Hollywood that's telling the story, but after listening to you guys, I am more open-minded about the corruption and conservative side of our government. I can't stand either side. Both are bad. Unfortunately, we have to pick the lesser of two evils. Skully, do you think there will ever be a time when this country realizes we are being played by the 1% of the 1%, or do you think the propaganda machine such as MSM will keep us all pacified? Thanks. Love the podcast.
I don't think it's that's keeping us pacified. I really think it's this right here.
Yeah.
Because we pretend. Because I will tell you that all the knowledge in the world is right here. Like if you want to know everything that Stephen Hawking knows, which by the way a lot of his stuff is getting thrown out the window. But if you want to know everything that Stephen Hawking knows, it's right in here. But we don't use it for that.
Well, a lot of Einstein shit's getting thrown out the window. You're only a hero until another hero comes along.
We don't use it. We don't use it for that. We don't use it for the search of and betterment of knowledge. We use it to
watching porn and playing fucking Angry Birds.
Yeah. So, I mean, the device is right here. That's all a sideshow. That yes, the 1% is manipulating those strings, but the 1%
it's getting easier for them because people aren't watching the news.
What is eventually going to happen, there's one of two things are going to happen. One, within the next 10 years, we'll go 3 degrees. We'll go 3 degrees above what we are with this global warming stuff. And
so are we back to warming, or are we on cooling now?
Well, they say that we're due for an ice age, which is interesting because
everything I saw over the last few years is that all the temperatures are actually, everybody's talking about global warming, but the temperatures are actually colder. And then I see shit that the ice caps have melted, and all these poor polar bears are all fucking dying.
Anyways, so we'll have mass migrations, which will start warfare on a global scale again, and then you won't have to worry about the 1% because you'll be out there fighting the Senegal natives who are trying to fucking come to the United States because their country's too hot to fucking step on the sand. Or we will continue down the path that we are, that these companies, this company right here, Apple and Bezos, and we'll continue down the path that the 1% actually wants. And what the 1% actually wants is one global economy that they can manipulate from wherever they want to manipulate it from. They just want a one global economy. And once we go to a one global economy, they won't need to manipulate us anymore because we will be crushed beneath it. We will just be serfs that will toil in the desert soil that has been created by those corporations, and we'll be lucky if they feed us here in the United States. They're going to get rich off of it. If you look at every big tech company in the United States, the goal is to get rich in the United States. Not to help the United States, not to make the United States a greater place, but the goal is to get rich within the United States to a point where they can start affecting the global economy. That's the goal. The goal is to affect the global economy. You don't have any one percenters that are talking about, I don't know, truck sales in the United States. They give two shits about that. All those 1%ers are looking at global everything. That's why you keep hearing it on the news. And that's why you keep seeing these people pushing the global agenda, because they're when you get, for example, Bezos. That motherfucker just gave his wife so much money. God, but you look at a guy like when you look at a guy like that,
she's someone else's problem now.
He's tapped the market here. It's time to move on to bigger fucking projects, and bigger projects are the rest of the world. So he don't give a fuck if your DVDs make it to your house or not anymore. He's looking at bigger picture shit.
This is the pacifier.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Look up Agenda 21. Everybody talking about how crazy Agenda 21 is, right? It's just shifted gears. It's not 21. It's Agenda 2051 or whatever it is now. But this is the pacifier. That's what it all is.
That's why everybody has them. That's why when in the United States, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Everybody has one of these.
Go out to dinner and just fucking look around. Go out to dinner and look around. People don't talk to each other anymore. Even at the dinner table, people are not talking to each other. They're on the phones. Just look for it, man. You will fucking see it. It's everywhere around you. Think about it. It used to be a videotape that you'd put in to keep the kid quiet in the car. Now the videotape goes in the restaurant. It goes to school. It goes in the grocery store. Everywhere you are, I get bumped into every time I'm out in public. I get bumped into. Somebody's coming up. I'm like, look up. Eyes up. Pay attention. Get off the fucking telephone. Everywhere you fucking walk where there's public, somebody is going to bump on into you because they're not paying attention. They're on the telephone. They're on their fucking smartphone. And it's not even a telephone anymore. Nobody talks on these anymore. I don't.
Nobody does.
I fucking video conference on Facebook. I saw a friend ask the other day, he's like, what's the best way to communicate? And I go, if you're doing business with us, you're on fucking Facebook Messenger. People were naming shit that I'd never even heard of. There's fucking, and they were like, I use this. This is more convenient. This. You're doing business with us, you're going to have a Facebook account, and you're going to talk to us through this. That's the fastest way, because I know what the fuck you want. My text messaging doesn't work in the building. Facebook works in the building as well as everywhere else. That way, I can decide whether I'm going to reply to you. You got to tell me what you fucking want in as few sentences as possible, and then I'm going to decide whether we're going to do business or we're going to not do business, or I'm going to fucking ignore you. And a lot of you little bitches crying about being ignored, I didn't fucking see your message, or you sent too many fucking sentences. It was too fucking cumbersome. Or you didn't have a name that was important enough to me that I recognize, and you sent too many messages. I don't straight out ignore that shit. I mark it to read it later. Unfortunately, later never comes, because in the time it takes me to sit down while I'm answering your fucking cumbersome ass question,
always somebody else.
My fucking computer chimes and this happens and that happens. If I stay off of that, I answer the fucking easy ones. And unfortunately for you, I have fucking 1,000 easy ones a day. We have more easy ones than we can even keep up with. So if you want something from us, especially you want us to deviate from something, because this happened this weekend. Dude shows up on one of my Instagram videos, completely not about what he's talking about. And he goes, I guess no answer to my email means you're not going to do it. I go, I don't even know who you are. I legitimately have no clue who you are. And then he said some other shit. He's like, well, you could have basically said, you could have at least answered me. I go, being passive aggressive on a video about some shit me and Amanda did over the last couple months is not the place to address this. But being that I didn't get around to answering your question, let's just say the answer is fucking no. Because at this point, I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't recognize you, but I don't fucking care who you are, because you're being a fucking asshole right now. Like, I'm the dude you want something from. You have to make it easy for me to do it, because unfortunately for you, we have more business than we can handle. And I know there's dudes that are going to be like, not for long you won't. Well, maybe not, but it's been that way for 30 years.
Go ahead and spread that around the internet, please.
So, be to the point. Use Facebook Messenger. send me a message or an email, and just in as few sentences possible. I don't need to know why. I don't need to know whose fault it is. I don't need to know anything. I need just the fucking facts in 3 bullet points. That's the fastest way you're going to get an answer. And it might be yes and it might be no. John Skully, have you seen the movie? I think, yeah, we did all that one. Makita does have a black and gray. We wouldn't know that because fucking Makita's not marketed. Like, Makita might be the best shit in the world. It really might be. Unfortunately for Makita let fucking DeWalt eat their fucking market. Like, nobody knows Makita. A couple of you guys who are contractors. But throw it out in the fucking general world. Go to Walmart and ask what fucking people's favorite brand of power tools are. 99% of them are going to say DeWalt. DeWalt might not even be the best shit. But at this point, I have so much DeWalt shit, and I already have batteries, and I already have battery fucking chargers for them. DeWalt could be the, and DeWalt has shit that's just fucking, they have every fucking tool you could possibly want. Makita might be the best, but fucking DeWalt marketed better. John, have you and Skully seen this video of a Willys Jeep being assembled in less than 4 minutes? I have not, Rob. I will pass that on to Jeff.
I have seen it. If you're talking about, well, there's actually a couple of videos. There's an old I want to say it's 1942 video of them doing of some British guys assembling it, because we used to, the way you see that vehicle is the way we used to send them to England. And then I think there's even a U.S. Army version of it. But the one I see all the time is the guys on the parade. That it's actually driving, and they stop, and they completely take the motherfucker apart down to its crate level, and then they put it back together and drive away on it. But yeah, it's pretty cool how they did that. We did it. Most of the things you think about, a lot of the innovations that we still live with today, are directly from that time period, from World War II. They had to really come up with some cutting edge ideas on how to mass produce products in the most fast, proficient way possible. And we led the world in it. Nobody touched us during that time period. And when you think that 90% of all fields that were plowed prior to World War II were done with a horse, that's fucking amazing. That is fucking amazing. That people were still plowing their fields with a fucking horse, and yet we're almost in the jet age by the time we end World War II.
John, is Warrior Water still available? Warrior Water never was available that I know of. Eli went some different directions. For you guys that don't know, he's got a company called Red Meat Steel. Check him out on Instagram. He makes some fucking super cool knives, and you can buy them. So support Eli and support what he does, and check him out. Skully, did you ever see any roof Koreans?
I've never seen a roof Korean. I spent most of my time out in the damn wilderness of Korea. I didn't get to.
I don't think that's what he means. I think he meant during the riots.
Oh, during the riots? No, I wasn't. I wasn't in that area. I was on the actual corner of Firestone and Alameda the whole time. The Watts projects were right across the street. In a town of Southgate is where that's the town we were protecting, which was a predominantly upper class Hispanic neighborhood, and they loved us, and man, had a great time. I had a great time in the riots. I don't know about anybody else, but
what else would a roof Korean be?
I think that's what you're thinking of. I think maybe that's what he's talking about, is the guys on the roof in Korea. I did have a really good friend at that time, Dick Walk, who was part of the SWAT team for LA.
He did some other interesting things.
Yeah, he's done all kinds of cool shit. But and he told me about that. He did tell me about the Korean thing where they literally drove into that neighborhood and then saw some roof Koreans and just turned around and left. They weren't even policing Koreatown during the riots because they were doing their own policing.
Hey guys, been a fan for a while now. Finally ordered a couple small items. Was wondering if the Velcro adjustable holster would work well for a small frame revolver. Looking forward to one this summertime. Looking forward to one of my summertime bonus checks, so I can hopefully pick up a large tool bag. Large tool bag would be great. Small frame revolver in the Velcro adjustable holster. That's really the only way you're going to probably hold that. You're going to find that there's really nothing else out there. Will it do it? Yes. Is it ideal? No. There's really nothing ideal for a small frame revolver like that. You don't see nylon companies making revolver holsters, really.
If you get a which for a small frame revolver, if you have a clipped inside the waistband holster, but this is what I did with mine when I first started messing around with it. I just took the whole holster off and put that in the adjustable Velcro holster.
Oh yeah.
That way it's holding it all, you have it all, and if you feel like I've got to carry this because I'm going into some shady liquor store to buy some shoe porn, you can pull the whole holster out and put the gun in your waistband. So just something to think about.
Can you still buy porn at liquor stores?
The good liquor stores.
Where are those at? Like, I can't recall being in a liquor store in the last decade that had any porn in it.
They're still...
I've only been to, like, Liquor World. And
still in... I mean, it's different here because liquor stores are relatively kind of like a new thing.
Like,
does Hillbilly
porn
Barn...
anymore? Fucking porn's free now.
Does Hillbilly Barn have... Have you been in there?
Where is Hillbilly Barn?
It's in Camden. It's one of the liquor stores.
Hillbilly Liquor Store?
Yeah, Hillbilly Liquor Store.
It's just a liquor store.
Yeah, see, it's relatively new here. I think you got to go to, like,
there's
a Korean one that also
Plus,
sells
we're in,
alcohol.
like, the Bible Belt. Like, we just got liquor stores. There's definitely no porn.
The last one I was in still had that porn, which amazed me because I was like, who prints magazines? Like, who? And it's always like, it's not
Maybe
like
for truckers.
Maybe. So they had that spot, and then they had cardboard high enough to where all you could see was the tops of it. And then they had DVDs in there. So I'm assuming that's for
I've seen
truckers.
that a few times, like for at bookstores,
But I
like
was
Barnes and Noble.
yeah.
You'll see that, but it's like Maxim magazine and shit. It's not even porn.
I was just amazed that there was because they had DVDs, but I was amazed that I was like, who's fucking what? Is there somebody who's still printing these, or have these literally been here since the 70s?
And why does a trucker need porn? Isn't there fucking prostitutes at every truck stop?
I think. I'm just wondering when he has time to read it.
Well, I think they time out. I think like an over the road truck driver, long haul,
has to time out. So when they're pulled on the side of the road, they're just whipping through their Swank magazine.
Well, I would think they're at the buffet and the blowjob. I mean, doesn't every truck stop? Like, where is the glory hole at the truck stop? Like, there's got to, like, I've seen the videos. Like, there's a wall, and there's like just 5 chicks strapped in. Right? Where's that at?
Well, I think that's in Europe somewhere. I don't think that really happens here.
That's not here. I
think
figure
it
there's
really
like because I've never been on like the truck driver side of the truck stops. Isn't there another side to every truck driver?
We know a truck driver. He should be able to tell us where all that is.
I feel like he wouldn't tell us the truth.
I don't think he would either, because he's like, oh, I don't partake in them lot lizards. We had this conversation once before. I'm sure he's had somebody.
We should go over to where all the. We should go drive around where all the semi truck. I'll bet you get run out of there. They think we're the police or something.
Probably.
We'll go on a moped.
On an expedition. We'll go look.
Most dangerous animal in the world.
We'll get Josh with some roller skates and have him just roller skate around the truck stop
like
and
Terry.
see what happens.
Like Terry. We're done with that one. Large tool bag. You'll love the large tool bag. My mom made sure that I took a home economics class and an accounting class so I could learn how to balance my checkbook, cook and clean, and take care of myself. Love my mom. I learned a lot from her. So I took a home ec class too. I don't remember anything about a checkbook or economics. Whoa. Good thing that's an LED. It would have just cooked those little... Holy fuck, I'm blind now.
You looked right in there too.
Yeah, I sure did.
I don't remember a checkbook, but I do remember like our home ec class that I had to go to. You had to cook something, you had to use a sewing machine.
See, we had some.
And you had to do something else.
I don't remember ever seeing the sewing machines turned on. We had them. We cooked something, and I remember making cinnamon rolls. and my cinnamon rolls were super salty. Like, so salty you couldn't fucking eat them.
I want to say that whatever I cooked was messed up too, or that I had a girl make it, which is totally sexist. But
well, that's what
this was the 80s.
It's because they have smaller brains.
This was the 80s, and in the 80s, women did things like that,
like they're supposed to do.
Yeah, they did the right stuff.
Sexually please your man. Maybe Makita, when you drive past a work site and see that bluish green terrible color, laugh out loud. You know it's Makita. I think that was their plan from the beginning. Laugh out loud. Ugliest color, but peeps will know it's our brand. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. But how about this other one? You know, it's yellow. What brand do you think that is?
I had a little. It couldn't have been. What is that? 3.5 inch, like a 3-inch cutoff wheel. No, it wasn't. It was a saw blade that was in there. Makita, that had a fucking battery that was like this long, and so you were only. But man, I used to cut so much shit with that. I loved it. I did everything I could to try and keep that thing alive. And just, that battery died, and that thing was amazing. It was obsolete, yeah.
I have a newer 20-volt DeWalt Impact and drill. I use it every day. My charger lasted about a year. Had to replace one battery as well. My coworker has the same set, and his charger only lasted about a year too. Rock 762x39. Spearcoat talked something about his DeWalt. There was a problem with the charger, and people were throwing their chargers away. And what it was is it's the contacts inside needed to be cleaned. There was a couple of years there where there was this big, my charger took a shit. It was not the case. Spearcoat's actually talked about that many times on his show. John, the carrier and the fleet have arrived. Merry Christmas, my sacred hearts. Why so serious? Dude, I'm going to ban you. Like, no bullshit. The next fucking time, I'm going to give you a buffer because we're about a day or two behind. But the next time you post some fucking touchy-feely myth, is it Grey Wolf? Yeah. Grey Wolf. Like, I'm fucking promise you better speak in normal fucking words like I'm speaking, like every other motherfucker commenting, or I'm going to ban you and you're going to have to make a new fake account, and I'm just going to fucking keep banning you.
Fleet Week.
Would you ever make a zippered knife pouch, maybe 20% larger, interior lined with Nomex? No, we won't. We're not fucking with Nomex. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know.
Pouch.
You need asbestos. It's not Nomex. Nomex, if you hold it like to a Nomex flight seat, if you hold a lighter, it will fucking melt holes in it. Nomex is not what you
work
need.
For Nomex.
Hello, John Skully. Just a guest on for Skully. Have you ever built an AK from a kit for yourself? Have you ever built an AK?
No, I have never built an AK for myself. I've never been in a place where the problem with an AK is if you're doing a kit, there are really a couple of special tools that you need that are not garage. I don't want to say garage available. I mean, because you can order them, but there's some special tools that you need that are kind of expensive. That if you're only going to build one AK, it kind of doesn't make any sense because it just doesn't make any sense. And then the problem comes into how are you heat treating your trunnion and all that business. So like if they do it here in Camden, there's I can't think of, is it Fuller. Just James Fuller? But they do a build, an AK.
I think that's over with. Somebody actually just sent me an email 30 minutes before we walked in here saying that he got a pouch from Rifle Dynamics, a stock pouch kind of like ours. But they said it was complete shit. He's like, I know Fuller sold Rifle Dynamics, which that's the point I'm talking about. I did not know that. I had not heard that.
I hadn't heard it either. So building from a perspective of just saying that you've done it, it's kind of cool, but I have no interest in hammering out a fucking AK-47 because for that specific purpose.
It's neat to do with your kid, but like if the Russians are coming, are you really going to grab that AK you built, or are you going to grab the other one?
The AKs are cheap enough. I don't need to be making an AK. But I will say I saw a dude in Russia who built a fucking AK-47. Like, he goes step by step, and I have it somewhere. Maybe I can give it to Gabby and she can upload it. but he built a fucking AK-47, a working AK-47, out of a fucking shovel. Out of a big spade
when Jeff
shovel.
says he has it, he means the video, not that AK.
And the top part is still the stock on the. So when you look at it, it's like a AK-47, and then you get here and there's a piece of wood and the handle for the shovel that he's got in his shoulder. He hammered that fucker out into the spade part into the actual AK. But I don't see any purpose in doing it unless you're super interested in it. Go ahead, fire it up. There's a whole bunch of issues with building your own AK, and if you don't have somebody professional, if you don't have somebody there that has done it before, I would be very leery of fucking laying rounds downrange. Not one, a bunch. So if you're gonna fire that thing for real, I don't know. I'm not doing the riveting and all that bullshit. It's just not.
How about on your 50 cal? Would you build a homemade 50? I would think that'd be way worse than an AK.
Well, no, because the thing about a homemade 50 cal is it's just one side plate. So.
Oh, you're talking about an M2 or something?
Yeah, like an M2.
I just meant like.
Like make a Barrett or something. Yeah, I'd never do that. That's fucking even more dangerous. The 50
That's
cal
why I
is
said it.
50 cal is not something you want to fuck with as far as trying to tame it. Many of people have been injured. Even the Marine Corps, when we first got the Barretts, they just issued them out. They're just like, hey, look at here. We're going to war in the desert. Take these 50 cals and go shoot them. And we had several of them blow up in kids' face. Not as a problem with Barrett, but as a problem with no follow-on training. They just issued those guns. And what was happening is those kids were getting them dirty. They were getting them dirty, and the guns weren't closing all the way. And so they were trying to push the charging handle forward, and they were able to get the guns to fire out of battery because the gun was fucking, when sand gets in shit, it just fucks it up. And credit to Barrett, though, is the way he made the M82 is it's hard and soft welds all through that piece. So when those guns blew up, they actually just banana peel. Instead of throwing fucking steel everywhere, they just banana peel. I think the worst injury we got from the first Gulf War was like a laceration to the small laceration to the face, but nobody was taken out of the fight. But then they had to fucking be like, hey, dummy, you gotta fucking clean this thing.
John and Skully, great content as always. John, I've got 20 years at Ford. My first 2 years or so were production so. I had to build around 120 Lincoln Town Car headrests in 8 hours.
Wow.
To this day, my hands and wrists are a little finicky at times. My question...
Is he sewing them by hand?
Have you had to deal with long-term carpal tunnel type symptoms? I'm sure I have carpal tunnel. Amanda had surgery a couple of years ago for carpal tunnel, and it took care of all of her problems. It's like she never had it, and she was back to work that day. Yeah, she did payroll that day. My hand right now, my thumb is numb. I'm sure I have carpal tunnel. It's just from jacking. I tell the kids now, I'm like, dude, don't stand at the table and jack your wrist 90 degrees and cut. Turn your fucking body. Like, that shit will add up. But they don't fucking listen. They will not hear you because they know more than you know. Hi, John and Skully. Tonight I was at the bar, Teasers, working, and someone played the baby. He's talking about not our Teasers.
No,
This is Mike, and we know this guy. This is Jay Simpson's brother.
No, we were gonna get a three-legged hooker story.
Teasers, working, and someone played Baby Shark song on the jukebox.
How the fuck does that even get on the jukebox?
All I could hear was John singing in my head. I know everyone says this, but thank you for the podcast. Loving all of it. John's motivational videos in the morning have helped me get back into the medical field. This semester, I started to go back to school to become a nurse, and I'm currently getting straight A's. I love the bar business, but definitely miss helping people every day. Like you always say, John, you gotta just keep moving and do something. I just keep working hard and moving forward. Thanks again for all you do. P.S. Need Pierre for round 3.
We're getting older and older as a country. That nurse thing is going to pay off in the long run. Much better than, well, I don't know about much better than a bartender, but it'll pay off in the long run. We need nurses. We don't need bartenders.
Holy shit.
Oh, that's a good one. Is that the same? No, this is a new guy. This is Pete Del Borvalando.
Expand comment. I'm going to buy a purple book bag and then try to have a ribbon stitched into it or a patch made for San Filippo syndrome. Purple is the awareness color. My son has this rare terminal disease. It's similar to Alzheimer's, but the children don't forget people. They start losing motor function and other things that they've learned, and their body lacks an enzyme that breaks down long sugar molecules, and it starts to store it in bad places. Majority of these kids pass from pneumonia. It's pretty fucking shitty, but it don't stop us from playing as hard as we can every chance we have while we can. I usually watch the videos or listen to the podcast after he falls asleep or on my way to and from work. It helps me decompress. I will never stop trying to get him into medical trials or sharing his story. If anything, hug your kids a little longer or call them at random to tell them you love them, or get their ass in, check if need be, haha. Get their ass in check if need be. Keep up the badassery, motherfuckers. We're rooting for you. Who is that?
That is Pete.
Pete. Hey man, send me an email, dude. G's superb. Total true. Hey, how old is your Pete? How old is your kid, man? Like right now, and how long do these kids live with this? Like I've never even heard of it. Send me an email, man. Total truth about what you should learn your senior year in high school. When I got out of college, I didn't know much. I didn't know how to pay bills. I'd have cash in my pocket and overdue notices in my mailbox. Drew Slosher says, "Hey, John and Skully, love the podcast. I listen to them all day at work. Did you guys make the gear in the 13 Hours movie about Benghazi?" We did not that I know of. Though I saw a micro rig in there. I know you've mentioned the Hurt Locker, but couldn't be sure. Keep up the solid work. Drew, a lot of studios have gear. A lot of tech advisors and prop departments have our gear. I watched that movie and I didn't see anything jump out that looked like ours. Another great video. Skully, I believe Operation Mockingbird explains the MSM. Lord have mercy. I've been in the secure cage a time or two. John, I'm old enough to remember the Blue Laws. Ah, yes, the Hilty 22 and Rifle Club. A whole bunch of Hillary's friends committing suicide. Why? I say it's a win.
You say the secure cage. So
is that like a skiff or?
Yeah. So when you at the Shrig. So when I was at SOTG, part of that was you had to be the staff NCO for classified messages. So you would get these classified messages, and then you'd have to jump in the van. So you get the message in this. It's never how the like the media portrays it or movies portray it. You get these classified messages and you're off to the White House where the general's going to get them, so you can deliver the message and shit and make sure that communication is perfect. And you get this piece of shit briefcase that's made out of some fucking plastic from 1970. It doesn't lock, and your only job is to go get the message and then take it to the White House for them to have the message, so the next morning when the general comes in, he can check all the classified messages for that night. And so I had to do this like 2 or 3 times, and it was probably the first time. I'm like, it's all like they have a when you go to pick up the message, they have a one-way mirror. You got to give them your ID.
Where is this at?
This is at Camp Pendleton.
Where's the White House?
You know where the General's building is at on Camp Pendleton, on Main side?
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to go into this thing, and there's somebody in there all night, and they fucking give you the message to put in your fucking briefcase, and they watch you put it in the briefcase, and it's all... it's the one-way mirror that fucking bothers me, is because it's like, the fuck are you doing? It's not printing up on the wall. What do you need a one-way mirror for? This isn't fucking... Anyways, so they give you the messages and they put it in there, and then you go back to the fucking trig, and you got to give those messages to the officer of the day or whoever's there. And I'm like, some super secret shit, man. You know, they got
it open, and
they got me doing some, I'm moving these secret messages, and so I start reading these fucking messages.
It says, "Put it back, cockface,"
and it's like, no, it's not. It's nothing like that. You would think that eventually they'd be like, "You're not supposed to be looking at this, dickhead." But so I start reading these messages, and it's like, why the fuck do I have to stay over here all goddamn night so they can get the weather report in fucking off the coast of Korea? Or why do I have to stay up all night because the carrier group just left the Philippines? Everybody knows this. This is not fucking... You would think that there would be something cool in there.
Something
be
classified.
Like, yeah, something like, something cool. But there never, ever was anything. The thing that pissed me off is there was nothing in those messages. There was never anything in those messages that when I was sitting in the duty hut with my feet up on the table watching CNN News, that CNN wasn't like, the Lincoln Carrier Group just left the Philippines, is on its way to Korea. And then you go get the classified message. The fucking classified message would be like, the Lincoln Carrier Group leaves the Philippines. Like,
they got it off CNN.
Wait a minute. I know more. I know where they're going. But it would just say the Lincoln Carrier Group leaves the Philippines. And so you go back, and then 2 hours later you'd be like, you go back over there to get the classified message and be like, Lincoln Carrier Group on its way to the Philippines. What the fuck? Yeah, like they're just watching CNN, and the guys in that... That's why I think there's a two-way mirror there. Because they're just watching CNN and some shit on CNN, and then they're like, oh, type that up. The general's going to like that. That's good. Type that up. Make it look like we're doing work in here. And then I've taken it over there and piled it on his desk.
I took home economics and learned how to cook, bake, sew, and everything. Just the basics. Good for everyone.
It's been over 10 years, so none of that classified information that I just revealed is...
it's been way over 10 years.
That actually has been way over 10 years since
like
I was
20,
at SOTG.
Same. I actually saw my old 8th grade home ec teacher recently. I thanked her for teaching me the basics of sewing. Only thing I have used more from middle school is math. Rob Preedmore, road flare, duct tape, and propane tank, and green tip ammo. Just a list I put together. Doesn't mean anything really.
Except that you're now on a list. You're on a special list.
Okay, here's Grey Wolf.
Oh, Grey Wolf. What do we got?
I'm giving my earlier gifts of Christmas to our children because how awesome they are. True unbreakable steel of family will to live will blow your mind. No training.
At least it's not in a...
Just spiritual growth. Amazing what nature has raised. Some serious badasses. Stupid die in depths of hell. Fuck.
Man, he just went off the rails. You were doing good, too. You were doing so good, and then you just went off the rails.
Decided for the first to use a sales code and ordered 2 large gray mesh pockets. Got a cool orange pouch to go with my Raid kit bag I used for fishing. Just wanted to say thanks for the awesome stuff you make. Josh Bledsoe, thanks for
ordering.
Man.
Thanks for liking the kit.
My uncle worked for a gas company where they filled home propane tanks. We bought a 78 Blazer with a K20 cab on it and a carbureted big block that ran off propane. Terrible for roadway, but fucking awesome four-wheeling. You could stand it up on the back bumper and it wouldn't stall. So roadway, gas, off-road propane. Liberty Chick, this is the very last one. Skully, you hit the nail on the head. Best analogy ever. They will eat their own.
I only hope they continue to eat their own. They don't rally. They start rallying around that AOC. Man, shit is going to get real weird in the next couple of years.
All right, guys. That's this podcast was 54 minutes. It's the shortest one we've done yet. This video that you guys commented on had been up over 2 days, and there were so few comments. So when I said 100...
Did you say 100 or did I say 100?
I don't know. Whoever said 100, like, all you guys have commented more about Please Don't End It at 100 than you guys have actually commented on fucking the podcast. So it will probably be 100. We might not even make 100 at the rate you guys are commenting. Like, That's up to you guys. All right.
Audi 500.
Audi 5.